Hello and welcome to the top 25 power rankings for this week in the Lol Esports space. We're going to cover the top 25 teams in the esports ecosystem. Now, there are only 25 teams left for 25 spots. 25 teams left for 24 spots at Worlds. The only question mark is the TCL between Fenerbahce, however you pronounce it. That's how it's probably spelled. I think that's how it's spelled. But there's accents and things like that. Nope, not going to try it. Right the second. Istanbul Wildcats are the opposition. Normally Istanbul gets out of the TCL as of late. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens again. Now, in this case, that means that there's nobody left off of this board. Everybody listed are still eligible or are going to Worlds. The teams I have listed here, the 4 teams, did not play this past week. They were locked in to where they are, and I don't really have them moving around all that much. Now, down in the description, you'll see 3 links: Twitter, Discord, and YouTube memberships. Twitter, follow me there. I put my links there for videos. I didn't put the Danny video there, but that's because I kind of just wanted to rant off, blow off some steam about it, and to the subscribers and to whoever wanted to see it on YouTube, I didn't want it to, blow up on Twitter or nothing really. I bet it would have been better for me and my brand, I guess, but I really didn't want to, take advantage of a situation like that, which is why it wasn't monetized. Discord. Go there. We BS about the game. We BS about champions. We BS about just all of it. We talk about league. There's a non-league channel if you want to talk about other things. We've been talking about fantasy football a little bit there. There's a predictions channel where we do things like predict who's going to win. I'm going to do pick'ems for Worlds, and I'm going to do something else. So if you join Discord, you can participate in those activities. YouTube memberships, there's 2 tiers, $3, $10. $3 to help me out so I can sustain this channel. Otherwise, the channel has a expiration date, right? And it's sooner rather than later. $10 is so you can get extra content. Like tomorrow, I'm going to have my weekly fantasy football rankings come out for players, for people that do fantasy football. All 32 starting quarterbacks, top 50 running backs that are in PPR and standard formats, wide receivers that way, top 24 tight ends, as well as later in the weekend, I'm going to do my predictions for winners and losers. I'm not going to predict who's going to win or lose Buffalo Bills games. Which is going to probably be like, oh, but the Bills are so good. I am a Bills fan. It would be wrong for me to give you some biased opinion on the Bills games. It would just be wrong. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to monetize content like that is kind of just like leading you astray. I'm going to be straight up honest. Unlike League, when I make my predictions, the only team I like is not in this anymore. So, I don't have a team really. So, that's all done. Now onto the power rankings. That's why you're here. This video sometimes goes like a half an hour, so I better get started. 25th, we have Beyond Gaming. Earlier today, I uploaded a video about these guys. Somehow they backdoored themselves into the 2nd seed for the PCS. Last year they did this, which I learned about today. I do not like the stat lines. I have not watched them play. I watched a lot of PSG and J Team, expecting these teams to come out. They haven't. Tomorrow I'm going to watch them. Tomorrow's video, the Minor Region Love, will come out. I've mentioned I'm going to do it like 4 times already, and tomorrow's when that video will come out. So I'll have a better idea of Beyond Gaming, but as of right now, I think that they are definitely the 25th team, and we'll see after watching more content how I view it going into Worlds. Remember, Minor Region is algorithm based, so all these orange teams I put on here, mostly algorithm based. Obviously, looking at some stats are going to cloud my judgment a bit, but mostly it's based on the algorithm, especially the order of the orange teams that are on here. 24th, we have Fenerbahce. Last week, Beyond Gaming went 1-2. They beat PSG to get into the finals. That comes after a loss to Flying Oyster. They beat PSG, then they lost to Flying Oyster again. So they lost to Flying Oyster twice. Now, 24th, we have Fenerbahce. They didn't play last week, and neither did the next couple teams. Isurus Gaming and Istanbul. I believe these two had like a bye week in between finals and semifinals, which is kind of silly. I think you should just get the job done, but if they didn't, they didn't. So these three teams didn't play at all. Israel barely snuck by a straw. Like if you want to watch a crazy end of Game 5, that one is like one that they'll be playing for a long time in Latin American highlight packages for esports. 21st, we have Loud from CB Lol. They beat Pain Gaming 3-0. Statistically, this is where they sit. I've had some people say things about Robo and Tinones and Croc. I remember Croc from my previews. Robo was one of the top 5 ranked top laners, I think, in my minor region wrap up video. And Tinones is somebody I'd heard of before, but the bot lane is extremely young. That I didn't forget. So it remains to be seen what that team's going to be capable of. 20th, we have Detonation Focus Me from Japan. Once again, in the tournament, they beat Sengoku Gaming 3-1. This comes after I think they beat them earlier in the playoffs. And Sengoku Gaming actually won the 2 best of ones, which maybe DFM isn't a great best of 1 team. That might be a thing. And in this tournament, it's going to be best of 1. So whether they succeed or struggle will depend on their matchups. I do think that I give them the edge over all these teams pretty easily. I think that Eevee in top and Yaorong in mid are 2 very good solo laners. And bot lane with Udapon and Harp. Steel in the jungle. Steel is one of my top rated junglers at MSI in general. I thought he was very, very good for them despite not getting out of group stage. So DFM are there. 19th, we have Chief. Despite going to 5 games, they still actually statistically outrank all these teams, which is a thing that you have to really consider. Like, wow, they still outrank them? Yeah, because their playoff run was disgusting. Obviously, I've said it time and time again, they went 40-2 during regular split. So, regular season, like spring and summer combined, didn't lose it all in summer, ran the table, and then went to 5 games in the finals against Order. Order almost did it again. So we'll see what Chief does. There are some things to like about that team with Arthur in the jungle, and LCK level jungler, and a bot lane that's probably LCS level, bottom tier LCS level, but nonetheless still better than your average minor region team. And that's it for the run on the minor regions for a second. 18th, we have 100 Thieves. I don't remember where I had them last week, okay? I don't. I have it on here probably somewhere, but I don't have it. So, 100 Thieves lost to C9. 100 Thieves are very, very telegraphed. We know what 100 Thieves are going to do, and I think that that's going to cause some troubles. They need to win this week against EG. I do not think that they have a chance. Well, actually, that's a lie. They have a chance. They certainly have a chance to get out of play-ins. I do think of the 3 LCS teams left, they are the most at risk to falter at play-ins. They have just very, very clear way of playing. They have a very clear way of playing the game, and if we can predict it, the opposition can predict it. And that's how I felt. I feel like I said this about Worlds last year. I feel like I've said this before, and I didn't have a channel then. I was doing writing stuff, and I feel like I wrote that. Because like it's been the same thing forever. Like 100 Thieves, we know what they're gonna do. They do really good with Thorn top lane. Closer gets on something that he can kind of make something happen, and sometimes he can, sometimes he can't. Abadage sometimes shows up, sometimes he doesn't. FBI and Huhi, pretty standard bot lane. They're not gonna blow you apart. They're not gonna lose hard. So kind of average. And with that and being all average, and we know what you're gonna do. Other teams with pop-off games and best of ones are gonna beat you. So 100 Thieves are 18th. 17th, I have Saigon Buffalo. This is the team that I'd be worried about if I'm 100 Thieves, because despite going 0-1 and losing to GAM Esports this past week, they had beaten GAM before that, or GAM, sorry. And Saigon Buffalo are scary. Shogun and Taki are only 18 and 19 years old. Hazmat's good in top lane. Froggy is kind of iffy, but at the same time, I like Saigon Buffalo over 100 Thieves right now. We'll see how 100 Thieves plays this week, and then going into Worlds, we'll obviously have a power rankings where I think these teams are going to sit at Worlds. But right now, this is how I feel about these teams. 16th, we have EG. EG drop a couple spots. So, speaking about EG, obviously the Danny situation is an issue. This is why this team is dropping a bit. Kaori, I don't know how to pronounce her name. From what I understand, TCL fans are saying that he's better than Luger. So that's a thing that should be okay for them. I don't think that it's... I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they lost to 100 Thieves. But I still think they're better than 100 Thieves. Once Danny comes back. And even if Danny doesn't come back for Worlds, dealing with this, Kaori will just be better for them the longer they play together. And I think that they still have unpredictability. Inspired's obviously cracked, one of the better junglers in the world. JoJo has a lot to offer, and EG are a solid team regardless. They went 2-1 this past week, lost to C9, and then beat TSM and TL 3-2 in both, coming back in a big way. It's a big deal to do that. A young team doing that is a big deal. There's something to build off of. So that's a thing. 15th, we have Mad Lions. I know some people like Mad Lions more than I do. I do not like the read on the meta they have right now. Losing to Rogue and then losing to Fnatic this past week, they have missed the boat, and that's a problem. They've really missed the boat. They fell in the water. They're drowning in the ocean, really, of the meta that they cannot figure out. Like Nocturne mid. Nocturne's getting buffed for 12-17, but you're on 12-15. So really not working. You're not LNG. You try to be LNG. That doesn't work. Arma is looking like a liability. And in play-ins, a team like Saigon Buffalo is going to eat your lunch. So you can't do that. They have to work it out. Unforgiven and Kaiser looked really lackluster against Fnatic. I understand Fnatic's bot lane is solid, but I thought Mads was better going into it, and Mads did not show up. Like, nobody showed up. Elyoya did, I guess. But outside of that, Mad Lions really, really disappointing. 14th, we have DRX, and last week I had people in the comments. I had one person that really stuck out because they wrote me a paragraph and they paid me with their view, which I thought was funny and cute. You're trying to talk crap, but you've paid me, so who wins? Show up again, comment again, please keep commenting. That only means the algorithm is going to show my video more, and the view, whether you like it or dislike it, is going to give me the same return. So you gotta love that YouTube algo is okay with controversial, oh, there's a controversy here, like there are people arguing about this topic, so let's just push it out. Like, that's the whole social media game now, right? So I mean, I don't make my videos to be controversial, but if somebody's gonna be controversial about it, there you go. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. Pat on the back. A butt pat for you. So 14th, DRX 2-0. KT and Sandbox. Oh man, I wanted KT to win so bad. I really did. DRX beat them, and then I was like, you know what? Let Deft go on a run over Sandbox, and that's what happened. Deft is on a run. If it is his last run, I'm happy it's going to end at Worlds. I do believe that they can get out of play-ins with these. Kingen is on Struggle Street. I think Zeka is kind of average, but big issue is the jungle situation, Pyoshik and Juhan. I know that I say all the time 6-man rosters don't win. Somebody brought up 2 SKT rosters that had it, and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, you're right. You're right. Now, let's plot like the 100 times it didn't work, but at the same time, DRX are good enough to get out of play-ins with a 6-man roster. I just don't think that they get it done overall, so they're 14th right now in here. 13th, we have GAM Esports. They're really good. They beat Saigon Buffalo and Team Secret, I believe 6-0 overall. So that's pretty good. They are on a run. They are nasty. Kaya in top lane, Levi, Katie, and then Style and Bayou in support. I think this team's good. Excuse me, we're finally going to get the look that we wanted from MSI at Worlds when they go into group stage. Hopefully they get a decent draw and they can actually showcase their talent. I guess they've been scrimming LPL teams like this one specifically and took games off of them, which is a big deal. There's a gap here. So all these teams in between, watch out because this team's capable. It is capable of playing some Smash Mouth League of Legends, and I love the VCS way of playing the game. Smash Mouth League of Legends is my type of league. 12th, we have C9. C9 are playing they're peaking at the right time. They're peaking at the right time. I mentioned it, I think, when I did my roundup, and maybe even last week. G2 and EG, they peaked at the right time. EG is not peaking, obviously, but G2 is, and C9 is peaking at the right time. And they're only going to get better as they figure out what they want to do and the style in which they play. Jensen's been playing great. Berserker is playing better. The team is good. That's without a doubt. They last week went 2-0, BDG and 100 Thieves. And right now, I wouldn't be shocked if they end up being the 1 seed. I really wouldn't be shocked. They are playing some solid League of Legends. Yeah, so that's the thing. 11th, we have our last minor region team, Flying Oyster. And I will say this was probably clouded by stats a bit and people's comments, but Rest looks really good. Statistically, he looked really good in top lane. He looks like a top laner that's going to eat that guy's lunch, and I don't know about Fudge, but definitely Armut and Kingen are going to have problems against Rest. That's going to happen. Mission in mid lane. Solid mid laner. Definitely can compete with these teams. For sure. Bot lane. Shun is young. Apparently Shun is pretty good, but Shun's numbers do not scream to me that he's very good. 9.1 CS per minute, I think, stuck out to me. But went 6-0, 6-1 against Beyond Gaming in 2 series, which is pretty good. Because Wako was the only player on Beyond Gaming I thought was good, was Waco. So, good numbers, good team. I think that they can be definitely in that, in this group here. At the end, I'm going to do tiers like I did last week to give you a vibe of how I kind of look at this. And people are going to be like, oh, well, why is this team ahead of this team, this and that? It's like, well, are they all in the same tier? Anybody can be anybody on a given tier is my honest opinion. Because a lot of these teams just frankly are not at this year. For a long time, the LPL had like 6 teams I thought could win Worlds. And slowly but surely, teams just kind of started dying off. And now we only have those 3 teams as teams that I think could actually win the thing. 10th place, we have Rogue. Rogue beat Mad. Lost to G2. Well, G2 are unstoppable right now. I'm sorry. To get a look up from G2 and say, oh, well, Rogue stinks. G2 is really cruising right now. They are hot. They beat Mad, so they're ahead of Mad. I don't care, bad day, this or that. Rogue have been pretty good for a while now. Mad Lions have been struggling for a while now. And the fact of the matter is, the meta may just not, Mad just don't have a read on it. They really don't, and they're struggling. That's just the facts. So, could Rogue lose to Fnatic this week? Certainly. Certainly could be the 3 seed. But right now, Rogue beat Mad, so they're ahead of Mad. That's kind of how I view it. 9th place, we have Fnatic. Originally, I had them 8th, but I moved them down. Fnatic beat Mad and beat Misfits. They're 2-0. Bot lane's really doing well. Really, the whole team's doing well. Razork stepping it up. Wonder's stepping up. Really, the team is just playing well at the right time, kind of like C9. Obviously, this meta fits Fnatic very well, given the bot lane that, upset's really good. So, Fnatic right now, I could see them getting into that second seed if they can beat Rogue and get into the group stage easily. I think that they're the team between these three. They are the team that's best suited to get out of play-ins. Not glaring issues like Rogue and Mad really have. So that's kind of how I feel about them. 8th place, we have RNG. No, that's not the case. We have Damwon in 8th place. So it's not really Damwon's fault, but I feel like they're getting kind of hurt for me by the way Sandbox lost to DRX and their struggles. Because Damwon took care of Sandbox 3-1 pretty easily, but Prince played three series that were pretty bad in the playoffs. Gen, Damwon, and DRX. So that's a thing. Damwon still don't know what top laner to play. That is a problem. So they're limited because of that. Excuse me, and I think the bot lane's is playing very good right now, but I think that in the grand scheme of things, it's not at the level of the top bot lanes in this tournament that's coming up. So right now I have them 8th. 7th, we have RNG. Oh, wow, that's really, really awful, huh? Oh, no. So, RNG, Royal Never Give Up. 1-1, beat LNG, lost EDG. Lost EDG in 5 games, played real solid, beat LNG 5 games, I think. So, RNG, Breathe played well, which was good. He was able to outplay Ale. Wei did okay. Xiaohu, Gala and Ming. Ming picked Yuumi in game 1. That's a big deal by picking the Yuumi. That's something Ming does not do, that I've mentioned time and time again. And if they can threaten the Yuumi, now all of a sudden they open up a ban for maybe to free up Xiaohu with a good pick or something. And maybe that's the thing that this team needed, the key to unlock what RNG is capable of. Good, solid team, without a doubt. 6th place, we have G2. Originally, I had them 5th, but there's no way in hell I'm putting them above T1. G2. Beat Rogue 3-0, I think, right? Yeah, I think so. G2 are just really crushing it. Oh, yeah, they did. They played 2 Seraphine bot games, Senna bot games, right? And they were like, oh, yeah, we got this from North America. What? You got it from North America? You didn't get it from the East? Well, no. Why would you want to do that in this situation? I mean, why? If you know, let's put it this way, if you know you can't compete with somebody in the way that they're playing the game, you have to play the game differently to have a chance. Otherwise, you're just going to lose because you can't play the way they play. It's just as simple as that. So, if you're going to play Seraphine bot and it works, it works. Good for you. Play it. So, and then people are going to say, yeah, but you punish CLG for that in the regular split. And I'm like, yeah, during the regular split, that's different. That's when you try things out because there are 8 of 10 teams making it to the playoffs. So, CLG, you should have tried to do more meta things and save the Seraphine stuff for when playoffs were occurring. So, G2, 6th place, beat Rogue easily. 4th place, lastly, the team missing EDG, still in the same spot they were last week. Beat RNG 3-2, solid team, good team, without a doubt, respectable. Going to 5 games all the time is a bit concerning, but the bot lane's cracked. Viper and Mako are cracked. Scout's playing okay. JJ's playing, and if they stick with JJ, they should be okay. So EDG I have 4th right now. There's really not much to say about them. Pretty much the same stuff every week with them. They're pretty consistently just, you know, there. So right now, the tier list is still these three. Still a gap there. Probably a gap here. And a gap here. I can see a world where any team in these gaps could beat the other team. I could. And I don't have bias. Notice my top NA team is 12th, right? So I have no bias to NA teams despite living in the continent, where I feel like oftentimes people get a little too passionate about their region and let that cloud their judgment because they just say things and don't have anything to really go off of besides stuff that happened in another meta and another time. That's kind of just silly. So that's it for the top 25 power rankings. Comment down below with your opinions. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Tomorrow will be a 2022 preview video, just like Beyond Gaming earlier today, as well as Minor Region Love. So I hope you come back for those. And once again, thank you for watching.